Elon Musk is currently the world's second richest person, and he may soon become the first trillionaire. People laughed at his outlandish ideas when he first founded SpaceX, and despite numerous loans, he nearly went bankrupt more than once. Musk, a longtime supporter of Mars exploration, has publicly stated his desire to build a greenhouse on Mars and even establish a Mars colony. But where did these brilliant concepts come from? Elon Reeve Musk was born in Pretoria, South Africa, on June 28, 1971. Musk had always been a daydreamer since he was a child. His parents and doctors ordered a hearing test because he was frequently lost in his daydreams. Elon Musk's mother Ismay Musk is a Canadian supermodel. Elon has a close relationship with his brother Kimber and sister Tosca, despite the fact that his father, Errol, is a wealthy engineer. However, when he turned 10, his family underwent a significant change. His parents divorced around the same time. Musk became interested in computers. As a curious child, he taught himself to program, and at the age of 12, he sold his first piece of software, a game called Blast Star. Musk described it as a simple game that was better than Flappy Bird and earned him his first $500 in elementary school. Musk was short, shy, and bookish, and he had been bullied for years. He moved to Canada at the age of 17 to attend university and avoid mandatory military service in South Africa. He obtained Canadian citizenship in part because he believed it would make it easier to obtain American citizenship later. He moved to the United States in 1992 to study business and physics at the University of Pennsylvania. Following graduation, he went on to Stanford University in California to pursue a PhD in energy physics. His move coincided perfectly with the rise of the internet. However, in order to put his luck to the test, he dropped out of college after only 2 days. While many people thought dropping out of Stanford was a bad idea, Musk saw it differently, and he famously tweeted, "Don't confuse schooling with education." Musk is best known in the space industry for founding SpaceX, a private aerospace design and manufacturing firm. However, this was not his first business venture. It was his third company, following Zip2 Corporation and PayPal. Musk founded Zip2 Corporation in 1995 with his brother Kimball, with the help of a group of Silicon Valley investors, which provided online city guides to publications such as the New York Times and the Chicago Tribune. While Zip2 was taking off, Musk lived in the office and took his showers at a nearby YMCA. But Musk's efforts were rewarded when Compaq purchased Zip2 in 1999 for a whopping $341 million in cash and stock, and he earned a tidy $22 million as a result. Elon and Kim, always on the lookout for the next big thing, used their newly acquired fortune to launch X.com, an online banking company. The following year, X.com merged with another company to form PayPal. Musk was appointed CEO, but his tenure would be brief. And, after inciting a fight among the co-founders, he was fired while on his way to Australia for a much-needed vacation. That is the issue with vacations. He once mentioned his unfortunate trip. Even though Musk was no longer the CEO of PayPal, things went well for him, despite the fact that eBay purchased PayPal in late 2002. And, as PayPal's sole shareholder, he pocketed $165 million of the $1.5 billion price paid by eBay. Musk now had enough money to make his wildest dreams a reality. Musk made approximately $165 million after launching a private space company following the sale of PayPal to eBay. While that is an enormous sum of money when it comes to sending rockets into space, it becomes a relatively small budget at the time. The idea of going to Mars did not pique the public's interest. But when Musk launched his Mars Oasis project, the concept exploded in the public imagination. However, there was one issue. Musk's required Mars-bound rocket cost $65 million, which was significantly over budget. This concept inspired the formation of SpaceX. Space Exploration Technologies Corporation, or SpaceX, was established with the goal of developing spacecraft for commercial space travel. Musk's goal was to reduce the cost of space travel by a factor of 10, But while his ideas sounded intriguing, there was skepticism that he would be successful. SpaceX unveiled its first spacecraft in 2006, after working on it for 18 months. They named it Dragon, reportedly after the song Puff the Magic Dragon, as a jab at critics who said Musk's spaceflight goals were unrealistic with the spacecraft ready. It was also time to complete the first rocket, the Vulcan. Musk hoped it would be the first privately built rocket to reach orbit. But little did he know that it would take several years before it was successfully launched for the next few years. Despite receiving funding from the US Naval Research Laboratory, the project appeared to be a failure. To top it all off, the US Air Force Academy's SpaceX was in the red, with around $100 million in debt. The Falcon 1 launch failed in 2006, with the rocket crashing into the ocean. Things were not looking good. After another Falcon 1 launch failure, SpaceX was on the verge of bankruptcy. They would have to shut down if the rocket failed to launch successfully on the next attempt. Despite his tough exterior at the time, Musk has since described 2008 as the worst year of his life. Tesla continued to lose money, and SpaceX was having difficulty launching its Falcon 1 rocket. Overall, the company encountered a steep learning curve on the way to orbit. However, it took 4 attempts to get Falcon 1 to fly successfully. Then, just before Christmas in 2008, Musk received 2 more pieces of good news. NASA had awarded SpaceX a $1.6 billion contract to deliver supplies into space. Meanwhile, the funding demonstrated that NASA believed in SpaceX's ability to transport cargo and supplies into space. There was still a lot of work to be done in order to get a large cargo load into space. The Dragon spacecraft would require significantly more rocket thrust than a Falcon 1 could provide. As a result, SpaceX began working on a much larger rocket than the Falcon 9. While developing the Falcon 9, SpaceX made history in 2012 by launching its Dragon spaceship with an unmanned capsule. The vehicle delivered supplies to the International Space Station for the astronauts stationed there. It was the first time a commercial rocket ship cargo was sent to the ISS by a private company. It's like winning the Super Bowl. Around that time Musk became the center of attention. People began to label him as the real jet because of his extraordinary career. The Starship, a fully reusable launch vehicle with Mars as its destination, was SpaceX's next major project. Elon Musk's dreams were finally coming true as the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla. Elon Musk is transforming life on Earth and in space. Tesla's stock has risen in recent years, and SpaceX is still the talk of the town. With a market capitalization of more than $100 billion, it is currently the world's second most valuable private company. And, despite a bleak start and numerous attempts, the company eventually made history by launching its rockets and spacecraft into space using a reusable rocket and launch system. Musk was able to significantly reduce the cost of space flight. And, while SpaceX began by launching cargo and satellites into orbit, it is now also launching crewed missions. SpaceX completed the first crewed mission in 2020, when a test flight sent NASA astronauts Bob Benin and Hurley to the International Space Station half a year later. This impressive feat was followed by the launch of a 4-person crew into space for a 6-month stay. While Jeff Bezos' Blue Origin company has since caught up with him. At the time, SpaceX was the only commercial space flight company capable of delivering astronauts to space as well as the futuristic Starship. After 4 failed test flights, SpaceX successfully launched and landed its Starship on May 5, 2021. The rocket flew as high as 10 kilometers, or about 33,000 feet, and witnessing the perfect landing of Elon Musk's rocket ship, which he plans to use to land astronauts on the moon and send people to Mars, was an incredible sight. The question remains unanswered. When is it going to happen? This was SpaceX's story. While the company was far from an overnight success, its visionary founders and investors have played a huge role in helping it grow into the billion-dollar company that it is today. Of course, SpaceX is just one piece of Musk's puzzle. Over the last 5 decades, he's gone on to become the CEO of both Tesla and SpaceX, as well as the founder of the Boring Company. While focusing on his long-term goal of escaping Earth and colonizing Mars, he is also the co-founder of OpenAI and Neuralink. So, if you're interested in learning more about groundbreaking discoveries and fascinating stories like this one, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos.